How's it going, guys? Dragon Star Production here, back with another What If video, and in this edition of Dragon Ball What Ifs, we'll be covering a pretty popular What If on my channel, that being What If Bardock Never Returned Part 3. And if you haven't seen Part 2, I will leave the link above, and I will make sure that it is also down in the description, that way you can watch that if you haven't already. In the meantime, I will give a brief, and I mean brief, recap of what happened in Part 2. Bardock would eventually gain all the other Saiyans, and they would actually think that they are able to beat Frieza, and they would head that way. Bardock would go Super Saiyan and actually be able to defeat Frieza, but would pass out afterwards, leaving Broly, Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, and all the others to defeat King Cold, Frieza's father. However, this wouldn't go very well, and it would end up causing the deaths of both Broly, Nappa, and Paragus. That being said, the others would be able to make it off the planet in time to survive, but how does that impact this story? Find out right after the video intro. During this time, everyone who made it out alive on Planet 7-9 returned back to Earth. As they would arrive, they were met by Gohan and, to their surprise, Piccolo, alongside Tien and Yamcha, who were there as well. Piccolo and Goku clearly still has some tension between the two, but due to Gohan's influence on Piccolo, he isn't going to attack or even plans to at this time or ever. While for Bardock, he's not sure if he plans on staying on Earth or what his next move will be. He's even talked about exploring some outside planets and some other planets that he hasn't been to in quite a long time. But Goku cuts him off before he can finish and just asks him why doesn't he stay there. This hadn't even crossed Bardock's mind, as he tends to not stay in one place, but he begins to look around. Bardock's seen the Saiyan Prince, he's seen both his sons Raditz and Goku, he's seen a short bald dude that was Krillin, he's seen his grandson Gohan, and remembers that Gine would have wanted him to be with his family. And because it's what Gine would want, Bardock agrees. After this, everyone would then split off to find the Dragon Balls because, well, they have some reviving to do because 3 people died on Planet 7-9. The plan is to revive everyone who passed away on Planet 7-9, so they plan to revive Broly, Nappa, and Paragus. This would take about 3 years to revive everyone, thanks to the Earth Dragon Balls only having one wish apiece and only being able to be used once a year. That being said, everybody would casually go back to their normal lives, as Goku, Raditz, and Bardock would train together every single day, while Gohan would also train whenever he gets the chance to after his studying. As for Vegeta, like in canon, he goes to Capsule Corp, where he trains with Nappa and does some cadoodling with Bulma. However, for Piccolo, he mostly trains alone, at least until Broly was revived. When Broly is revived, Piccolo sees a similar anger that was in Gohan that he sees in Broly, and he thinks that he can actually help Broly obtain the Super Saiyan transformation without being in a blind rage. And when Paragus is revived, he also tags along with helping Broly because he knows his son's rage. And finally, Krillin convinced Alik to stay at Kami House to aid Yamcha, Tien, and Chatsu all with their training, initially making everyone way stronger than their canon counterparts at this time. Surprisingly, everything goes smoothly for a couple of years. No threats to Earth until a random time machine appears. Everyone surrounds the pod to see what we know is Future Trunks, and instantly, Future Trunks would realize that this is a different timeline. But he still informs the others of the androids and of Goku's heart virus, and with Bardock being there, he does force Goku to take the cure for the heart virus right then and there. So no reason to have a stupid virus take Goku out in this timeline. That being said, we will skip the 3 years, and at the end of it, we sure enough have ourselves a Super Saiyan bargain sale. Bardock, Broly, Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, Nappa, and Gohan were all Super Saiyans. And everyone was awaiting for the android's arrival, just like Trunks had said. But they didn't show. Trunks even shows back up in the time machine, confused that the androids aren't there. And Vegeta gets irritated and screams out at Trunks. But as he screams out, Bardock yells out, "Vegeta, stop your yapping and turn around." There stood androids 17, 18, and 16. And I know what you guys are thinking. How are they there? Why not Dr. Dro and Android 19? Well, let me do some explaining. A little bit of backtracking, about an hour in this story. Inside an underground lab, Dr. Gero was planning his revenge on Goku, and he was actually about ready to fulfill his revenge. Gero, having Watcher Bots, was fully aware of all the others and their powers on the Earth. Gero knew that just himself and Android 19 stood absolutely no chance against the Z Fighters, especially because they would lose in numbers alone. Dr. Gero, although hesitating, he does release both 18 and 17. 17, though, like in canon, swiftly kicks Gero's head right off his body, and 18, wanting to join in on the fun, uppercuts 19's right off his shoulders as well. The twins then would proceed to release Android 16 as they would fly off after 16 gives them the wonderful idea of killing Son Goku. Alright, now that we've covered the backstory, let's get back to where we were. Goku would then question the androids, but instead of getting a reply, Android 16 goes charging full speed right towards Goku. 16 then clobbers Goku with a right hook, knocking him across the jaw. In his base form, Goku stood no match. Goku was forced to go into a Super Saiyan transformation. However, even this wasn't even enough. 16 still had the slight edge over Goku, and Gohan even attempts to fly in and help his father, but Goku just gets smacked to the ground by 17. "Keep the fight fair, you little runt." And these were the words that created a full-blown battleground. Android 17 fought Bardock and Raditz, while Android 18 did her best against Vegeta and Nappa, while 16 was being pushed to the edge by Goku and Broly. And Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien would all go off to Korin's tower to go and find some sensu beans after realizing that they were going to need them after this big fight with the androids. And as for the androids, they gave it their all as well. But like Gero has said before, numbers would eventually be their downfall. And whenever one of the Z Fighters do get wore out and tired, they simply just substitute like a football team. So they literally just drag the fight along because we have both Piccolo and Leek sitting on the sidelines that aren't wore out at all and can jump in the fight at any point in time to help. However, in the meantime, a nearby city, a creature is sucking people dry of all their life force. This, as we know, is Cell, and Cell having the opportune time to absorb all people's life force since everyone is busy with the androids. Well, besides Yamcha, Tien, and Krillin, who all come flying in, hence they felt their powers combined was higher than Cell's at this point. The three would ask who the hell he is, and Cell's response was, "A little bit of everyone," as he shoots off a solar flare. This blinds all three of them, giving Cell the chance to drain Krillin, and he actually drains Krillin bone dry to the point to where he can't even pick himself up on his own. However, when the blindness clears, Cell is gone. And Tien and Yamcha instantly tried picking up Krillin, but as they can see, Krillin was gone as well. And they knew they had no Dragon Balls to bring him back this time. Cell then actually finds himself watching the fight between the androids and the Z Fighters. And he seen that the fight was clearly about over when he seen Tien and Yamcha drop down, informing everybody what has happened to their buddy Krillin. This, however, is Cell's perfect moment as he absorbs both Android 17 and 18. Cell would then pick up his head as he states, "I am perfect Cell, the perfect being, and all I want is a challenge. Sadly, none of you can give it to me." Cell, of course, knows that this is going to piss off 9 of the 10 Saiyans, Gohan being the only exception that wouldn't be mad after hearing that he isn't a challenge. Cell, though, does decide that he will give everyone 10 days to prepare for his Cell games. However, Bardock and Vegeta weren't really willing to wait as they charge Cell just to be hit one time, causing them to pass out of their Super Saiyan forms, crashing to the ground. This would leave everybody stunned as Goku brings up the hyperbolic time chamber. Cell proceeds to build the ring while everyone else heads to the lookout and goes in the time chamber day by day. The first group would be Vegeta and Bardock, the second group Goku and Gohan, the third group Broly and Piccolo, the fourth group Trunks and Leek, and the fifth Tien and Yamcha. And the final group Raditz and Nappa. Saiyans are able to master Super Saiyan, or if you want to call it grade 4 Super Saiyan, either in the chamber or on the lookout during the 10 days, as the humans are also able to grow immensely as well, and even getting a little bit of a hints of what Kaioken could possibly be, thanks to Goku being there and not wanting the humans to feel left out. However, notice I didn't mention Android 16. That's because Android 16 went a different way from the other Z Fighters. He wanted revenge on Cell instead of revenge on Goku now. Android 16 awaited the right moment before he actually decided that he was going to attack Cell. He then awaited and he shot off a full power Hell's Flash, But Cell, even though he was turned in the opposite direction, dodges every single bullet. Cell then flies over to grab 16 by the throat. Cell then starts pounding 16 in the side of the head. 16 then crashes to the ground just trying to pick himself up, but Cell just stomps on his head. 16 tries to pick himself back up, but he fails to. Cell then smirks. "Silly robot, you stood a better chance fighting with the others." However, 16 had a trick up his sleeve. Android 16 then detonates himself with Cell on top of him. Cell, along with Android 16's entire bodies, explode. And on the lookout, all of a sudden, they no longer feel Cell's key. Until boom! Cell's key spikes. Turns out Cell's nucleus wasn't blown up, so he regenerates as Super Perfect Cell. Alright guys, with that being said, I'm going to end the video off here. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you smash that like button. Share this video around with your friends, your mom, your dad, your grandma, anybody around. Just make sure you share this video around. We're on that grind to 5K now. I really hope we can get there by the end of the year. I know that we can. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. And join the Discord if you haven't already. That being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.
I'm Lord Frieza, Emperor of the Universe, and I advise you to like this video and subscribe to Dragon Star Productions, or you'll force me to use 100% of my power. Oh, ho, ho, ho. But that won't be necessary because you've already hit the bell for all alerts and notifications. Ho, 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 ho.